Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Esther's Diaries and actually Queen Esther's Diaries, and my name is Esther and Happy New Year. Welcome to the new year. So guys, for this video I'm going to be sharing something I actually promised sometime last year. So sometime last year I shared a video about an alternative way to move to Germany through the au pair system. And I also mentioned in that video that I had tried something like that and I was going to share my experience about that, right? Good. So guys, on this video I'll be sharing with you my experience living with a German family. Watch out guys, I wasn't an au pair, but I tried it out. Okay guys, so let's go. So guys, before we go anywhere, the German word of the day. German word. So we all have to learn German words every day. So guys, so today the German word is Haushaltshilfe. Say after me. Die Haushaltshilfe. Haushaltshilfe is actually a word that means house help. It's like saying household help. If you say it like if you directly translate it in English, it sounds like household help. Okay, so but it is in German Haushaltshilfe. Funny enough, since I have moved to Germany, I have hardly had to use that word in any sentence because in Germany it is a service kind of reserved for the rich and wealthy people because it's an expensive service. Instead of people doing that, people would rather resort to having an au pair because having an au pair will be cheaper for them. Or if you don't know what au pair is, check out that video, like check it out. Either they go for an au pair because an au pair is cheaper, or they just reduce their working hours and stay home and take care of their kids themselves. Yeah, that's why it's not very often, the word doesn't occur very often in your daily conversations, but we're going to learn it anyway. So guys, that's the word of the day. Die Haushaltshilfe. Moving back to this video guys. So guys, sometime in 2018, I opted to live with a German family. I'll just give you a little bit of a background, right? So this was it was not necessarily a German family. It was a German man. Like it was an older guy. Opa, like Germans would say Opa. Opa is grandpa, so it was like a German Opa, you get. And he was about, as at that time, he was about 80 years of age. And someone being 80 years of age actually means that they existed between the years 1949 and 1990, which was actually a very crazy time in the German history. Actually, the craziness started even long before that, sometime in 1933, because in 1933 there was a socialist movement that cost the Jews living in Germany at that time their lives, their religion, their freedom. Then came the Nazi movement, and the word you should never say to a German is Nazi. Okay, so and those are kind of the dark ages for Germany. Okay, and anybody who lived through that time have gained some kind of experience that is not very nice. You know, you meet them and many of them have like very vivid memories of the war and also of the Cold War, because there was the Second World War, and for inside Germany there was the Cold War. The Cold War was kind of between the Soviet Union and the other countries that had won the war against Germany, which were France, the US, and the UK. So because of that, people who grew up around that time had a lot of psychological issues to deal with. And so when you meet someone that old at now, they are actually a little more complicated to work with, unless they were just an exception. Okay, there are actually exceptions to the rule, but it's something you should have at the back of your mind. Like I said, he was an older guy and he had kids. He had about 3 kids, or I should say I met 3 kids. I don't know if he had more than 3 kids. He had 3 kids, but none of them were living with him at that time. So he needed someone to stay with him. He was diagnosed with some illnesses of the mind and of the body. So, but that of the mind was actually more prevalent because it seemed like that of the body was thriving because of the one in the mind. Okay, so that's the reason why his family really wanted him to be staying with somebody, or someone to be around, someone that would just keep tabs on him and check him out all the time and give report about the house. So the house is like It's about, I would say it's a 2-story building. If you're an English person, you will call it a 2-story building. But for German, it's actually just a 1-story building with dark geschoss. Okay, I'll explain. So the ground floor is usually not counted in Germany. So it had the ground floor, it had the middle floor, which usually is the first floor in Germany, and the dark geschoss. Dark geschoss is like the attic. Okay, but yeah, so that's why I refer to it as a 2-story building or 1-story building with an attic. I stayed in the attic. So the attic had 2 rooms, 2 really beautiful rooms. If I have pictures, I will upload those pictures right now so you can see the room or what it looks like. I think I've also had a video. Okay, so I'm literally moving in today. I don't know, the camera is not focusing, so yeah, it's a bit. And that's my bed, and yeah, around. So yeah, that's it. So the dark geschoss had a clean, beautiful room that I stayed in, and there was another room that was prepared for somebody else in the case they needed someone else to come in. So about my responsibilities, like I mentioned in my previous video about working as an au pair, the responsibilities of an au pair surrounds the children in the house. But in my case, there were no kids in the house. I was dealing with an older guy, so my responsibilities were surrounded somehow around him and the house. In other words, I was to preserve him and to preserve the house at the same time. Okay, my responsibilities were cleaning up after him, or just cleaning the house in general, keeping things clean. Secondly was to make nutritious meals for him, which was because of the issues he had, the illness he had, which I am not allowed to talk about. He would lose touch with reality sometimes, or he would forget to eat even sometimes. So my job was to make food for him like 2 or 3 times in a week. I think which I think I did only twice. Yeah, so make nutritious food for him 2 to 3 times in a week, which the family reimbursed me for. My third responsibility was giving feedback to the family, which were his daughters at the time, the ones I met. So from time to time, they'll write me or call me to ask how their dad was doing and how everything was running, if I needed anything. And maybe if they were coming, they'll let me know ahead of time. Hey, we're coming back home today. Is there something we should get you or something, stuff like that. So that's what I was doing for him at that time. Fourthly, my fourth responsibility was to take care of the cats. So guys, they had 2 cats as at that time, and my job was to make sure that their litter was clean, they had something to eat, and just be around with them. So guys, this is a secret, like, take it from me. It's not like I don't like cats, okay? It's not like I don't like cats. It's just that I'm not very great with house animals. I love animals, but I'd rather have them stay outside the apartment. I don't like animals living inside my space. But anyway, I tried. At least I gave them their medication. So that's a good thing, right? It's a good thing. So guys, those are my responsibilities, stay with them. So guys, I want to talk a little about myself right now so that you know why I was making that decision. So at the time when I made that decision to live in that house, I had just finished my German school. And at the same time, I've done the most part of my practical time. The practical time, like I mentioned in many of my videos, you should check out my videos for my terminologies. My practical time meant that I had to work like 4 months in a hospital in different areas that were specified. And during that time, I was not being paid. Okay, so because I had finished my German school, I had to vacate the accommodation provided by the German school and find a place on my own. So that's why I needed to find that place. So guys, I wasn't making money at that time. All I was spending was the savings I had and money that was sent to me, or money that was gifted to me. So I wasn't making extra money. That's why I chose this option. So the benefits, what were in this apartment that I liked? So guys, the number one benefit I must say is that the rent was cheap. The rent was so cheap. All I paid for was the utility, and which amounted to 75 euros. And 75 euros is not in any way any kind of rent in Germany. Like none at all. I was only paying for utility. For the space I occupied and for the resources I consumed in the house, that kind of rent should be somewhere between 300 and 400 euros or even 500 euros in these days. And also considering that the house was situated somewhere close to the city, so it was supposed to be a more expensive apartment. But because of the things I had to do, and I had to help, I had to clean and all of that, the rent was reduced for me. Another perk of living in the house was that the house was well furnished, so I didn't have to buy anything. I didn't have to buy any kind of furniture or any kind of appliances. It was furnished to the teeth. Like, I didn't need anything. I didn't need to buy anything of my own. So that was very comfortable, especially for me at that time, because I had been then I was less than a year in Germany, and I needed any help I could get. The third perk for me is being able to learn how to manage a home. For me, I thought it was a perk, even though it was responsibility, but I felt it was a perk because I've never gotten to live in a house by myself and take care of it by myself. And if I intend to own a house one day, I need to be able to do that. So I took that as an opportunity to learn that. And like I said earlier, the house was close to the city, so it was really close to me to work. Like, it was really close to work. It was close to almost everything I needed to do except from church at that time. But it was really close, and it was in a peaceful, serene environment, like really serene. So yes, it was very attractive to live there. So guys, going to the issues. Like I said, I was living with a German family. I was living with a German older guy who had mental issues, or had a mental disorder. And you could imagine what the issues were. Hey God, if I start this, people will not tire. So first of all, was dealing with, like, which I think is like the main thing, was dealing with a mentally ill person. It was not easy. It was not easy at all. There were times when he would make very racist gestures at me, like look at me and be like, and things like that. And I have to understand that he's not doing it because he hates me. He's only doing it because of where he is mentally. There were other times, so there was this time, guys, that I was showering, and probably because he's used to living alone in the house, he heard noises from the bathroom and came to the bathroom to check what was happening. Guys, I was showering, I was naked, and he walked in like this. Guys, I didn't feel at that time, violated. I didn't, because he's 80 and I understood what was going on with him. So all I did was to inform the family about it the next time we spoke, but I didn't really take it up that seriously. I endured a lot. Oh God, I endured a lot. He had a bunch of rules, which even takes me to the next next of the issues, where his rules. He had so many rules. He would give me rules like I should not I wasn't allowed to eat Lay's, like, you know how a young person would be eating somewhere around 11 and 12 just because of you can, or probably just because I just came back from work. He wouldn't want to see me moving around that time. He wouldn't want me making calls downstairs where the kitchen was. So if I was going to make calls, I had to go up to my room 2 floors up to make a call, or go outside. And this time was during winter, so you could imagine how that felt. I wasn't allowed to play music. I'm a musical person, guys, so playing music was important to me. But then I had to wear headphones. But even wearing headphones, he would go around saying that why am I ignoring him? That I wear headphones so that I don't talk to him. I'm like, guy, you don't even want to talk to me. You already told me you don't want to hear my music. So I put on headphones and you have a problem with it. What do you want from me? Sometimes I would serve myself food and he'd be like, you're eating all of that food. Okay, guys, I don't eat that much. Trust me, I don't eat too much. I do not eat too much. I know that forever. I do not eat too much. But if you're an African or you're Nigerian, you will know that our culture, okay, let me just say Nigerian, you know that our culture, the way we serve food traditionally in our culture is not very modest. Compared to a very conservative German, he thought that I was just taking too much calories that my body did not need, and he was angry about it. On top of my own money, it's not like he gave me money for food. And he also have rules like I should not have friends come visit. So I was really alone. At first, I thought I could do it, but after a while, guys, nobody could visit me. Nobody could say hello. Like, all you could do was come as far as the door of the house. Not even the door, because if you came close to the door, he could see you, and I might just get issues. So you come just to the gate of the house and turn around. That was annoying. Another issue about living there was my cleaning method. So guys, I'm Nigerian, okay? I like to keep saying I'm Nigerian because it in a great way affected the way I deal with things or the way I choose to handle matters. So guys, my cleaning methods are very different from a German cleaning method, okay? I came from a family where my mom will make you clean, like clean, scrub, wipe, clean, wash, shine. That was my mom. I came to a place where before you do anything, you literally have to read the label and be sure that this cleaning agent works for this kind of floor and this kind of that and this kind of that, which was not something I knew. So I would randomly use any cleaning agent I saw to wipe this or wipe that, and he didn't like it. I think the worst was when I was going to wash the bathroom. I don't know, I believe all Nigerians do this, or a lot of Africans do this. When you're washing the bathroom, like you really get wet wiping and washing. I didn't know that moving here was going to be different, and that the only place you needed actually to wash that way was the bath or the bath area, but every other part of the bathroom only needed wiping. I didn't know, so I was washing, scrubbing, cleaning edges and all of that, and he walked into me. I was like, oh, you're gonna destroy my house, you know. That was one thing. Another issue I had with him, so guys, like I said, I was making foods for him. So guys, I would make really Nigerian foods. Although I told his sisters that I don't know how to make any German meal, that I will only make Nigerian meal, and they said, oh, that was fine. So even before his daughter left the first time, like the first week I came, she tasted my food and was like, oh, this is great that he can eat this. It's great that it tastes like Oriental meal, like the kind of things you eat in a restaurant. I was like, great. So that means I will be giving him once or twice in a week a restaurant experience. So I was making meals, and after making each meal, he will look at it and be like, no, I'm not going to eat this. What is this? And he will give me all of that and tell me to pack it back, that he's not interested. And the first time this happened, I kind of freaked out, but his daughter told me to leave it on the table. He will come back for it. Guys, I left it on the table. By the time I came back to the table, he had eaten, cleaned, washed the plate. Like, he ate it complete, cleaned the plate, and he will leave me a love note. Guys, this happened like many times. After eating my food, that he will first complain, then eat it behind me, and then leave me a note to tell me thank you, how he loved it, how he loved the pepper, how he loved that, and how he loved that. You see, like that case, it kind of always ended well, but in the beginning, it was really, really uncomfortable. For instance, I'm cooking, so I love to cook in bulk because I love to cook for the week ahead. I can't cook every day. I rather cook once in a week and portion everything for the week. I will do something like that, and he will go ahead and be like, but he will go ballistic. Oh, that I'm wasting this, I'm wasting electricity, that I'm cooking for, he would accuse me of cooking for refugees and cooking for beggars outside because he saw so much food at the same time. Disclaimer, guys, during the war and during the Cold War, there were times when there was really scarcity of food in Germany. Like, there was famine in Germany. There was what do you call it in English? Like starvation. Good. There was a time when Germans went through starvation, and because of it, people who grew up in that time are very conservative of water and food. Very conservative, so they are likely not to eat a lot, especially when they start having mental issues or start going through dementia, Alzheimer's disease, whatever that affects their memory. They would start being very conservative. Like, he would look at me cooking and be like, oh, so much food, who is going to eat all this food? Like, the food was enough for a year and all of that, you know. But I had to bear all of that. I remember this time, I think this time his daughter was around. I had finished cooking and he came all the way to my room. I was like, so all that food I cooked it, so you cooked it for the refugees and you did this and you did that I'm wasting his things. I'm like, I just came and looked at him and told him, follow me. I went downstairs, he followed me. I went downstairs, opened the fridge, brought out all the food I had cooked, the rice, the stew, everything. I brought out on the table and I told him, look at the food. Did I give it to anybody? And he just stared at me like this and turned around. His daughter was very apologetic about his behavior. Actually, she was very apologetic about the behavior. But guy, after a while, it becomes very burdensome to live with somebody like that. So the third issue, or the fourth issue, or the fifth issue, I think now, is with the animals. Like I said, I'm not very good with animals. Even though I did my best for them, like at least none of them broke a teeth throughout the time I was there. But for me, it was an issue because I really didn't like that I could be in my room and an animal would walk into my room. No, I didn't like that. So yeah, that was something I would consider an issue for me. But it couldn't be an issue. It may not be an issue for everybody. So guys, that's what happened though. That's how living there went for me. Apparently my contract to live there was, or how will I put it, so when you move into any apartment in Germany, you have to sign a contract, and sometimes those contracts could be limited. Okay, and in those contracts they also state if you have a probation time. So to live there, my probation time was 6 months. So was it 6 or 3 months? I'm not so sure anymore. But during the probation time is when the family or the owner of the house decides if you're going to keep living there. Okay, so I think mine was 3 to 6 months, somewhere around there. But guys, he wished to terminate it after 2 months, which actually legally doesn't work. But because he was an older guy, his family explained to me that I should understand that they didn't mean it that way. And throughout the time I was looking for a new apartment, they were actually very supportive, giving me ideas, even though the ideas, I didn't like it. But they were giving me ideas of places I could move to because he said he didn't want to live another month with me in the house. So after 2 months, I had to move. So guys, that's how that actually went. Generally, it was okay. I was happy it happened when it happened. I'm good enough when I had to move. I had secured a job where I was getting paid, so I wasn't going to be in debt in any way. Yeah, that's actually how that came out. I feel that worked out. It's just that the whole scenario kind of showed me how much some laws in Germany is kind of because in Germany, even though somebody has been someone has been diagnosed with a mental issue, their wishes are still very well respected. Yes, even though you might suspect that they are having mental issues or they even have it medically diagnosed, yes, you still have to respect their wishes. So there is a lot that I had to just work with and I couldn't do anything about because it was his choice. So guys, I hope you love watching this video. I love making it. Well, for me, it's like real story time. It was real story time. If you have any questions, don't forget to drop it in the comment section. Don't forget to click like, subscribe, everything clickable. I love being with you guys. Guys, the next goal is 2,000 subscribers. Guys, don't dull me. Don't dull up on me. Don't dull up on me. You get it? You get it? I'm actually in the mood today. I'm so happy. See you guys in my next video. I love you guys. Check out my other videos. Check out my other videos. Check out my other videos. Check out. Peace out.